Welcome back, race fans, to ExtremeSpeedwayAction.com and XSRA.tv's race recap of the Salute to America night at Paris Speedway in Paris, California. Part 2 of our race recap starts at round 3 of the Division 1 racers. Under a nice crescent moon and great Paris Speedway track conditions, the standings of round 3 were as follows. Gino Manzarek and Austin Navarrete were tied with 8 points, and matched up for second were Max Rummel and Dylan Rummel with 7 points each. Round 3 is about time when these guys need to start scoring some points and get higher up on the tote board. Heat 40 matched up Brothers Rummel, with Max Rummel in lane 1 and Dylan Rummel on lane 4, both wanting to need points to break their tie. Kale Leo Grande in lane 2 and Sarah Cords was in lane 3. Dylan Rummel recently had the opportunity to race in the East Coast on 2 of New York's tracks, Action Park East and the Champion Speedway, for the U.S. Open rounds 1 and 2. And here's what he had to say.
Oh, it's fun. It's a cool event that they do out there.
Yeah.
It's now, I believe from the last time I went, it changed a little bit to where before we'd race just in Champion Speedway, and now we race at one track. I forget where it's at. It's somewhere up there in New York, and then the other one's in at Champion.
So tell me, is there any competition out there? Or
yeah, there's a few guys. There's a few guys that are looking good. I mean, I think a big name that we saw there was Spencer. He looked definitely on pace. I think if they had more opportunity to ride, and then they had the access to the stuff that we have here, I'm sure that they could spit out a few good riders.
Yes, we think there's a lot of talent all over America, and when we start regular racing after this COVID pandemic, we'd sure like to see some of those East Coast riders make it out here to the West. At the tape, it was Max Rummel on the inside with the easy hole shot. But by turn 3, Dylan was on his tail trying to gain. Then all of a sudden, Leo Grande into turn 4 wheelied his front tire and lost control, hitting the wall. Fortunately, he wasn't seriously injured, but this would be the end of the night for Kale Leo Grande. Let's take a look at that again. He seemed to get into turn 4, and then all of a sudden he pitched it. His wheel went up, and he lost control. The restart had the 2 Rummel brothers and Sarah Cords. Sarah Cords also went racing in New York, and this is what she had to say.
New York was beautiful. Honestly, it was a great place to ride. The track and everything was really nice. The people were amazing. Definitely a great place, and I want to go back again.
At the restart, Max Rummel easily tore into first. Dylan Rummel made a good try from the outside, but it was Max's race by the second lap. Dylan Rummel's looking really good after recovering from past shoulder injuries. He looks smooth and in control as he cruised behind his brother for second place. Sarah Cords, always the fighter, got third for the heat. Heat 41 had Gino Manzarek and Austin Navarrete coming in at 8 points, and Kyle Cunningham and Reese Todd both with 6 points. Before the start, Navarrete had to pull out because of mechanical issues. This would really set him back. From the wall, Gino Manzarek, who is also a professional MMA fighter, made light work of Cunningham and Reese Todd. 17-year-old Cadillac Kyle Cunningham was running on 250cc's last year and now is on the Pro 500s. He's really filled out and is looking comfortable on that bigger bike. Gino Manzares, also riding as a monkey tonight on the sidecars with Brian Modis, took the race easily. Speaking of young riders, let's hear from a couple 250cc champs, Slater Lightcap and Wilbur Hancock.
Slater Lightcap, how are you?
Good, you?
Yeah, you're back out on a bike, what, like the 7th time this season?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. How's it feel to be back out at the track?
Feels pretty good, you know. We haven't rode since Auburn, and before that, like 2 months. So
Right.
it feels good.
Yeah, but getting back on the bike, you need it as a young rider. You got to turn some laps.
Yeah, I mean, as we're getting older and as we're growing, it's getting harder and harder, so it's better to get on the track more often.
All right, Will Hancock, let's see. Oh my God.
Double champ.
You are the #1 champion of AMA. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's a weird feeling right now. It still hasn't sunk in completely. I'm stoked about it though. It's a lot of pressure though. Yeah, it's hard to. It's weird to not have that #1 yet. I'm trying to get some of those made, so it's kind of cool.
Speedway!
Heat 42 pit veteran Eddie Castro against Mike Miller, Rhett and Todd, Michael Wells, and Mike Phillip Brown. Eddie Castro has over 40 years of speedway racing under his belt and lives life to the fullest. As a cancer survivor, he still makes it to the races, and he doesn't let up, making anyone have to beat him and earn it.
All right, again, Eddie, how you feeling?
Oh, a little tuckered. It's hot out here in the leather, so, you know, I'm just trying to make the best of it. It's cooled down from the last time. It was 109 here last time, so it's cooled down, and it's in the 80s at least. But it's still in a sauna with the leathers on.
Yeah,
so
sauna.
I'm trying to keep up with those kids that got those GM motors that are all pumped out, so they're pulling me a little bit. But, hey, my motor's just fresh. It's got to loosen up. It's going to take a while to break in a little bit. So to loosen up and get a little faster.
Staying fast on the throttle, Castro took the win and advanced to 9 points for the evening and a spot in the semis. That's it for this part of XSRA.TV's race recap here at Paris Speedway. We'll be back for one more race recap and the finals right here on ExtremeSpeedwayAction.com.